I'd like to carry on the debate between Hitchens and Craig and take this to its completion of the discussion. Hitchens is saying that there's an institutional corruption within Christianity. And Craig is saying that it's just individuals who are not following the teachings of Jesus. And Hitchens doesn't finish the argument in this discussion because it is true that if the church and if Christianity followed the teachings of Jesus, it would look much, much different today than what it looks like. First of all, there wouldn't be thousands of Christian churches, all with different doctrines. You wouldn't have Catholics killing Protestants. You wouldn't have a pope. You wouldn't have anybody standing up in front of a community telling them what to do, because Jesus promised to send the Spirit of truth to explain all the truth. And the Spirit of truth has come multiple times to explain all the truth. But the church has denied the teachings because the teachings destroy the power structure that the church has created. And this is exactly what Hitchens is talking about in this video, is that why is it that the church cares about the material world and what people do in the material world, try to regulate their behavior, when the church should all be about the afterlife and about how to reach heaven? And I've had the same experience as Hitchens says. I've had discussions with priests, and in the end, they admit to me, I don't believe it. It's a job. It's not a passion. I'm not saying that's true for every priest, but it's an institution providing jobs to people who many, as Hitchens suggests, don't even believe what they're teaching. They don't believe it because it's completely illogical. I have a friend who was in seminary and he tried to write a thesis on the Trinity and on the Virgin Mary, and he couldn't. He couldn't find any logical support for it. But yet it exists in Christianity. And so to finish this debate, we can't continue to say that Jesus is the church and there's just individuals who are violating Jesus' teaching. We have to say, no, the church is corrupt. And we need to rebuild Christianity around the core teachings of Jesus. And that is knocking on the door, searching for the truth, and understanding the reason why we are here. Why is there so much suffering in this world? If God is good, as Jesus taught, why is there so much injustice? God is just, but this world is not just. Well, that's because we don't live in heaven. That's because we were kicked out of heaven. We were kicked out because we violated God's laws. And we now have to reconcile with his laws. And justice is relative. For an infinite being, justice can be just seen as a timeout that lasts a few billion years, so that the children can relearn what needs to be learned. Once you start thinking in infinite terms, you can start to see where the justice comes from. But Christianity doesn't teach this. It did in its early years, but the Romans destroyed it. So I'll do another video that will describe exactly what that teaching is. I've done very many of them, but I'm going to do a complete one that takes it from beginning to end. So support questioning Christianity, because as you see in this video, they don't have the right answers. They don't have logical answers. They can't stand up to scrutiny. Craig makes a claim in his diatribe there that God created humans in his image and endowed them with morality. Well, there's no fact that supports that. I mean, if you look at what humanity has done through the millennia, there's no inherent morality in humanity. And God is a divine spiritual being who's immortal. And what do humans have to do with God? The problem is that Christianity has lost the message. God created us in his image, yes, but spiritually he created us in his image. He created us as divine, spiritual, immortal beings. And what happened between then and now is the fall of 1/3 of heaven. And now there are billions of corrupt, immortal, spiritual beings who are living their lives as humans, trying to become divine again. This is what Jesus told us we have to do. We have to become perfect as God is perfect. And that's a long, long road for that to happen. But in the meantime, humanity has shown its ability to be moral, yes, but it's shown so many times its ability to be immoral. And just look around, there's millions of slaves today living. There are billions of people living in poverty. Where's the morality in humanity today? It's a long, long ways off.